my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lesleyanne and I upload Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I had to think about that then. Occasionally I do an odd video here and there and just pop it in during the week sometime. It really depends, but today I thought I would make a pineapple upside down cake. If cooking is something that you like, then stay tuned. If not, then check out some of my other videos on my channel and there's sure to be something there that may interest you. Okay, firstly, let me just say, I look a mess. It is now 5 to 6 in the evening. I've done a full day's housework and I've also done some gardening today. But I thought I want to get this cake done. So I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to show you how I make it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to weigh all of my ingredients. I have put my cooker on, my oven on, to fan assisted 160, so that's preheating. So I'm just going to tilt you down now. Right, there we go. So I've got my mixing bowl here, so I'm just going to turn on my my scales. What you want is 100 grams of self-raising flour, there we go, 100 grams of, well, I'm using stalk margarine, but you can use butter, but I'm just using stalk margarine at the moment. So again, you're looking for 100 grams. There we go. 100 grams of sugar. A teaspoon of baking powder. Then you're going to put in 2 eggs. Oops, come back. Right, now this is where mine's going to be a little bit different because traditionally you use pineapple rings. I don't have any. I literally only have the pineapple chunks, but that doesn't matter. We can still make it look really pretty and it still turns out to be a pineapple upside down cake. It just doesn't have the rings. So if you don't have the rings and you only have the you know, the pineapple chunks, don't worry, just use those up. So I'm just going to take my lid off. And then I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of the juice from the pineapple into the sponge mix. There we go. And then it's just going to go into my blender. Right, so I'll just turn that around so you can see. Let me turn you up a bit. Right, there you go. So I'm just going to pop that on. And everything literally just goes into the pot. You don't have to worry about whisking this up, whisking that up. Just everything in there. Okay, so the next step that I do, again, is a little bit different. Traditionally, you would cream your butter and your sugar together. I just melt mine on the cooker. So for this, I am actually using butter. So I want 50 grams. Exactly 50 there. And then 50 grams of sugar. I'm just going to melt this down first. Okay, so I've got my melted sugar and butter here now. And that is now going into my dish. As I say, traditionally you would do this sort of like in the beating method, but I've done it this way sort of many times before and it works as well. So, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to make sure you take some of it up the sides so that you're really giving it a good grease. Take it all the way up the sides, that's it, and then you're just going to let that just sit at the bottom there. There we go. Move this out of the way. Then you're going to take some of your pineapple. Now, as I said, if you had pineapple rings, they are ideal because it's supposed to be made with pineapple rings. But if you don't, you just have pineapple chunks like this, that's fine. It all tastes the same, it just looks a little different. But I'm all about sort of using what I've got in my cupboard, so if I fancied making, you know, a pineapple upside down cake, I'm not going to go out and buy the rings if I've got the chunks in my cupboard. You would normally put the pineapple rings in your dish so that they sit nicely, maybe about 7 rings, something like that, but you're just going to put your chunks in and around and just make it look quite pretty. Right, that's it, all chunks are out. So I'm now just going to move them around the dish a little bit. And I would say actually, if you're going to use pineapple chunks, it does sometimes make it a little bit easier to eat, because you're not having to break up like half a pineapple ring. Right, so I've done that bit. Now, some glacé cherries. I'm literally just going to place glacé cherries sort of here and there. I'm just going to pop some around the edge to start with. You see, it still looks as pretty, doesn't it? I do love to cook, I love to bake, but I very much like to do my own thing as well. Create my own recipes, tweak recipes so that they do become my own. So you can pop in, when you've got the slices, then you are supposed to put the cherries in the middle of each slice, but this way you can just pop them wherever you want to. So I think that's probably enough. It looks nice, doesn't it? Right, so now I'm going to spoon over my cake mix. Very light and fluffy, but you want it to be, because you want to be able to spread this all over here, all over your flan case. Now, and then in a minute I'll be just making sure that all the fruit underneath is covered. All of your fruit underneath, just sort of push it down, not hard, but just sort of gently cover it. So you just need to be a little bit patient at this stage, just to make sure everything's covered. It's worth just spending that little bit of time just to make sure. So if you've got any fruit, like I've got a little bit of pineapple popping up there, so I'm just going to like sort of scrape some off of some other bits and just fill it in. It's a bit like putting on my foundation in the morning. when I wear makeup, that is. Oh, sorry, I'm going to use my fingers, they are clean. Right, there we go. Right, that's all done. So, this is what it's looking like. I'm now going to pop this into my oven, as I've said, fan 160. I'm going to pop it in for 35 minutes, although I'm going to check it after 30 minutes because my oven is one of those that gets hot quite quickly. And then leave it to cool down for sort of 5 or 6 minutes before turning it out. I'll come back to you when it's ready to do that. Right, okay my lovely, so I've just taken my pineapple upside down cake out of the oven. I'm going to leave this for sort of 5 or 6 minutes to cool down a little bit before just running a little knife or something around the edges and then turning it upside down on the plate. So I'll be back when I do that. Right, so I'm just going to put this spatula just around the edges, or you can use a knife, just to sort of loosen it before you turn it out. So you put your plate on top of your flan dish, and then you are going to flip like that. And there you have it. So that is your upside down pineapple cake. If you have rings, like I said before, if you had rings, you'd have the pattern of rings with the cherries in between each ring, but because I use the chunks, it looks like this. If you serve it warm, it's lovely with custard. We're going to let this cool down and have it with some fresh double cream. Yum, yum. I'll leave the recipe in the description box for you guys. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, press the notification bell for my next video. Bye.